Hello and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family. We chose this one. This is episode 292, right on track from 2003. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too, and this episode is brought to you by the Disney Wish cruise ship that now is nearly 30% more fuel efficient and emits approximately 20% less greenhouse gases by using liquefied natural gas. Shout out to the Disney Cruise Line and the Disney Wish.
Well, shout out to the Disney Cruise Line and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. Joe, this is still technically lap 12. We have not kicked off lap 13 yet because we're not doing the new movies yet, but we are now in the interlude, the Fast 10 interlude.
Yeah.
And what better way to kick things off than by watching a 20-year-old movie with like a 15-year-old Brie Larson?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Which one is Brie Larson?
Are you serious?
It's the younger one, right?
Yes, not the star.
Okay, that's what it was. Did
you
tough.
watch this with Rachel or no?
No.
Okay, because if you watched it with Rachel and you still came with that question, I would have been stunned. You alone, understandable. You with Rachel would have been stunned.
No, I watched it alone, so I was 99% confident it was her.
It doesn't look like her.
No.
I think you can tell that she is like she's got a different part to play, but she is infinitely more charismatic than Beverly Mitchell. Like, she's so much more engaging as a
Who's
kid
the
actor.
main girl?
Yeah.
Beverly
Mitchell, aka the worst part of Seventh Heaven, which we don't need to talk about Seventh Heaven. I think that's the only thing. I was thinking about this actually, like who actually broke out of Seventh Heaven, and I think it was just Jessica Biel. Like, nobody else from that show ever did anything like of note. I think someone they added in like in a later series, I think, became like Arrow, maybe like on the DC TV series Arrow, but he wasn't like an original. Like, he was like a later addition that they're like, we need to jazz this show up because nobody gives a shit anymore. But like, this was, I think there were like 5 kids in the family, and the main star of this was like one of them. And other than being like TV cute, it's just like her character was annoying and terrible, and she's not great here either. But
no, it happens.
Whatever. So Right on Track is available to stream on Disney+. It is a fact-based drama chronicling the story of 2 determined sisters who battled the prejudice of a male-dominated sport to become world-class drag racers. And that's the description. And I would say that's not true because like it really has nothing to do with Brie Larson.
No, they kind of just show it at the end that like her sister also wins a ton, like the Brie Larson character, but she's not the main character. She's kind of sidelined the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the characters they were playing, Erica and Courtney Enders, were 15 and 11, but the actors were 22 and 13. So Brie Larson, like, relatively appropriate, 13 for 11. But Beverly Mitchell, 22, playing a high school student, 15. So there's that.
She looks, she plays down. She
does play down, yeah.
She could be 18. If you would have said,
like... She has
that
kind of, like, doe-eyed, like, who, me?
Yeah, like, cherubic face type situation. Yeah, I get it.
And the only other trivia on IMDb about this was basically the stuff that they mentioned in the post-credits of this movie, that Erica turned pro in 2005, was the first woman to win the NHRA Powerade Drag Racing Series in 2012, and then she won the 2014 Pro Stock Championship named Racer of the Year, and she won a few more titles. So just like, hey, they went on to success, which is pretty cool, but... there's no trivia about this movie because this is one of those Disney Channel original movies where it's just like once a month or once every 2 weeks or whatever, there's just a new one of these.
Yep.
And, they span the gamut. And I don't think I saw this one. I think I would have aged out of this one because I would have been 15 when this came out, which I'm way too old for that. But like, I remember early on, like Disney Channel original movies like Smart House and stuff like that. Like I definitely saw and looked, I mean, not Rachel levels of like, stayed up till 8 o'clock at night to watch High School Musical, but I remember
she loves
watching
Smart House too, dude. That's funny.
Smart House is a good one, man.
She likes.
Did you watch any of these or no? I'm sure that your sister probably did, but did you?
No. I don't think that she really did either. Just not in my presence. I remember her watching like maybe the Disney Channel shows like Zoe 101, Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Like I remember her watching those that were like, kind of the next I think it was kind of after this even, but like I was in a weird spot where I was already phased out of this, and then I don't think that they were as big when she was young.
I think the weird thing with a lot of these, like not like the movies were like ongoing. I think they're just like hit or miss, like whether you saw any of them. But like looking back at these series, it's like that was the most important series of my childhood. It was like on for like 2 years. They did like 60 episodes. It's just like, oh, like if you weren't watching Disney Channel or whatever, like from '03 to '04, like you just missed this thing that was like foundation. It's just like a weird
Yes.
kind of so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what I was doing. I don't know, being a preteen boy, I guess. So,
Not watching Disney Channel on Friday nights or whenever
yeah,
this was on.
exactly.
There's not a ton of background about this. I can't figure out what the budget was. I can't. There was no box office because it didn't go to theaters. There's no Metacritic. The Rotten Tomatoes has 2 reviews, one positive, one negative. It was written by Sally Nemeth, who I don't know anything about. Also written by Bruce Graham, who wrote the Disney movie Anastasia. It was
Oh,
produced by this guy Don Schrain, who did all 3 High School Musical movies, and also
interesting.
Wish Upon a Star, which I think was either another Disney Channel original movie or maybe just like an actual movie that like played on Disney Channel a lot. But that I remember seeing for sure. But the interesting thing, and I think this is really, it's funny to me how business like the business is sometimes. But it was
Okay.
directed by this guy Dwayne Robert Dunham.
I noticed
Um,
his name because I was like, Dwayne Dunham is kind of like Dwayne Johnson.
Well, Dwayne Robert Dunham also sounds like a serial killer, like a 3 named whatever. But yes,
Oh
sort of
yeah.
like Dwayne Johnson. He would direct Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey, and Little Giants, as well as other Disney Channel original movies like Halloween Town, The 13th Year, Ready to Run, Right on Track, and Tiger Cruise. But what's interesting to me,
Okay.
2 things.
Yeah.
So this guy who's like Disney, is best known for his collaborations with George Lucas and David Lynch. Served as editor on Return of the Jedi and Blue Velvet.
What?
He's directed episodes of Twin Peaks. He won an Emmy Award for Twin Peaks. He edited all 18 episodes of Twin Peaks: The Return. In 1978, he was the first person to publicly portray the character of Boba Fett at like a county fair. Like this guy who's just like, hey, Disney Channel original movie for kids. It's just like, I kind of grew up like with George Lucas as like friends and doing work with him,
Yeah.
dressing as Boba Fett in public, and then also editing Twin Peaks and like fucked up Blue Velvet David Lynch shit. It's just like, it's so weird how just like to a lot of people, and like this is not a knock in any way, just like, hey, that's a job, it'll give me money. But it's just like this guy who came up with like the most like kind of edgy, like, you know, like sci-fi Star Wars stuff, but then like the, you know, the weird transgressive David Lynch stuff is just like,
Yeah.
all right, Disney's where the money's at now.
He makes fucking right on track.
It's so weird because like
That's very strange.
you
Yeah.
watch this, you're just like, all right, like this is just a movie. Like it's not like there's anything like really radically interesting about it, I don't think, visually or anything. It's just like they
Nothing.
know who they're making it for. It's a kind of a girl power, empowering for young women type of story.
Yep.
And it's like, what did this guy do? Oh, he did Twin Peaks. Okay.
Yeah.
Weird. So
Doesn't not what I would have guessed. If you were like, what TV show did you think he worked on? Twin Peaks would have been at the bottom of my list.
no, it's so weird. Um that's, I mean, the intro to this is very short because there's not a lot of info, but okay. I know that this is not a movie that like 35-year-old dude should
Dude
be
should
watching. But like with that in mind, did you like anything about this movie? Because it was between so we had like an extra week here, and there were 2 movies. There was this, and there was like what seemed like a straight to DVD Jason Momoa biker movie that I'm like, that's probably not gonna be good. It's called Road to Paloma. We can maybe do that at some point, but like, I'm like, this will probably be just like quicker to go down. You know what I mean? Like, not that this is gonna be good, but like, I know it's like this is like a known quantity, so I just like
Yes.
between the 2. I like Brie Larson more than I like Jason Momoa. I don't know that we should have done this for the pod. I mean, you know, it's
It's
fine.
kind of appropriate.
It's kind of appropriate. I will say that if Tess is half the driver that Courtney is, family's in good shape because she's a much
True.
better driver than her sister. But
Does this canonically make this guy Mr. Nobody too, by the way? He's an engineer tech guy, and
The
he's Brie
entire
Larson's
movie,
dad.
I was like, do I know this guy? And I don't think I do. But
No,
he looks
it's one
like
of these.
8 actors who
Yes,
like
yeah. He could be any dad in any of these movies, yeah.
So I guess he is Mr. Nobody. Maybe Tess has a sister too, played by Beverly Mitchell. I don't even know if she's still acting. But was there anything about this movie that you liked? Because I have a lot of notes because it's just like, a girl is racing. Like I just wrote down like a lot of the dumb plot twists and stuff. Like we have stuff to talk about, but like, did you like any part of this?
I did enjoy that it was a movie with a girl lead about doing a
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
non-girl thing and succeeding at it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is cool. And that's cool
Yes.
that that story is told. The movie itself and the like the whole you have to be a good sport, but then that kind of just goes away.
Mm-hmm.
The why is she always playing volleyball for no reason? Totally not necessary for this movie.
I think that's kind of the Disney Channel, like, where Zeph is in the theater and also playing basketball. It's like he's torn between two worlds. It's like, not really, because you can kind of do both. It's just like, there's not that, but yes.
Also, there's no way that your coach didn't know that you were also, like, like, she says, like, I will be back, and then she's like, well, we got, like, our car broke down,
They're all.
and she's like, I'm disappointed in you. And
They're
it's
all
like,
so pissed that the car breaks down. It's like, what do you want me to do? Like, that's not like I
Yeah.
chose to break. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so, no, not much to like here. I mean, it's clearly not a movie for me, but there are just, like, a lot of things that I'm like, oh, yeah, like, and then I start, like, drifting, and I'm like, man, these were, like, a big part. Like, you just were talking about it,
Yeah.
of, like, people's childhoods.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's saying a lot.
Yeah, like you and Rachel tend to say it's not a phrase that I particularly love, but like it was a movie. But I do feel like, especially for kids, just like that's a way to kill 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Like that's just on TV. That's
Yeah.
a way to sell some product. And
Not even product. Like, what do they say? They're not
no, I
selling
mean like during the
anything.
commercials, like we have 2
Oh.
hours to fill. Here's a 90-minute movie, so we can sell 30 minutes worth of like
Cereal commercials.
Play-Doh and cereal and like Polly Pocket or whatever in
Yeah.
2003, right? It's just
Yes.
like okay,
Yeah, it's a vehicle to sell
yeah.
those things. I can agree with that. Yeah.
So there's a thing in here. So they're drag racers. That's also the thing. Like when it's right on track. Like I know it's like a drag strip, but like I was hoping that they would be like almost like more go-karty or like
Oh,
that
like
there's
karting.
like an actual course.
Yeah.
But no, it's just quarter-mile drag races, which is more Fast and Furious, to be honest.
Yes.
But also like less maybe visually interesting. But
Pretty boring visually. I agree with you. That's a very good point. That like there's nothing. It's just a straight line, right? Like I think that that's probably why we don't have a ton of straight drag racing movies.
yes.
It's probably very uninteresting to shoot and watch.
Even like the Fast and Furious knows, like quarter-mile race, we're gonna like actually race over like a mile and a half because like if it's just a quarter mile, it's like this is like a 9-second race and like
yeah.
it's boring, right? It's just like one car because you kind of know who wins, and like they do that like race wars in the first movie, and even then like it's just like one of these cars is going to overheat or whatever. But there's a thing in this movie that I've never seen before that
What?
I'm sure it exists, but like there's that handheld kind of like game thing that they're like pressing to get like off
Yeah.
the line.
Yeah, that was
That's
cool.
got to be real, probably, right?
Yeah, I think so. And there's like new versions of it because you've seen all the Have you seen like the one on the wall that the sports guys do? Like quarterbacks, goalies, like they all have this thing. It's like on the wall, and it's like maybe 8 buttons or something, and they like light up, and you have to hit. It's like whack-a-mole with your hands, but you play it on a wall,
Okay,
and it's just like reaction time, right?
sure. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that this thing does exist, or maybe that's like this is something her dad built her. They don't really explain it, which would be a cool part to explain. Good thing that they left out.
They accuse them of cheating because she keeps getting like perfect jumps off the line. They're like, well, you're Mr. Engineer. It's like, is he though? So he might have just made it for her, but they're like, you could have done this. There could have been like, you go up to like a light emitting whatever in the front of the car that senses the thing. It's just like, at what point in the movie was this guy established as like a tech guy?
I don't know. I like a mechanic, sure, but he's like Dom and Jesse mixed together apparently.
Yeah. And just like a dad. Like everybody's just kind of like a character. I don't know, whatever. But I thought that was kind of a cool. I guess it's like it's just a tinier reflexes, but like she's pushing a button. She's not like. Okay, here's a dumb question. How does a drag racer, like, do you step on the gas? Is there a button you press? Like, how do you actually, like, when the light turns green in a drag race, like, what is the impetus to go? Do you step on the gas? Do you know?
if you release the clutch and you catch gears and go. I don't know how they use they now. They have like all kinds of like paddles and shit.
Well, now, yeah, but like 20 years ago, when you're a 15-year-old girl in this like tiny little car, uh, is like I know it's just doing her, it's gauging her reaction time, but it's not
Yes.
like she's recreating the motion of starting a car.
No, it's
She's
just how
just
quick
seeing
she's
green.
reacting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like it's I'm just trying to figure out if that's actually helpful or not. Like it's helpful to an extent, but it's not the same thing. It's close. It's part of it. It's part of the puzzle.
Yeah, she doesn't have like a simulator with like
Right.
all
Because
the
that would be
on
kind of cool.
switch. That would
I
be
don't know.
really sick, but you'd need like a whole thing for that,
Where you
right?
like have the lights come down, then you like you release the whatever.
Yeah, yeah, you foot on the gas, foot
But
on the
she just
clutch.
like go. Okay.
I don't know. I think that the drag cars, I'm not really sure. I'm not very, very well versed on drag cars, but like I know that I don't even think that they like have a clutch. I think you just like fucking like now they just have like a big shift handle and you just like change gears.
You look like you're at the slot machines. You just
Yeah,
yank.
exactly. That's the motion that I'm doing because I think that's what it's like. It's like burp 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 like and you just shift them really really quick.
Okay.
There's like some way it does it. I don't remember or like it, yeah, it you just like it's too slow to like actually do a foot motion. You just like click 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 and you just go.
Okay. Easy enough, I guess.
Yeah.
I have so many notes here. I don't know that any of them are worth bringing up.
Did you
They Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Joey, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a party that had chocolate and hot guys?
Oh, I wrote that down.
It was so Disney. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Bev chooses racing over lots of chocolate and hot guys.
Yes. She gets a note because she's constantly busy because she races all weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Then she decides that that's not enough busy, so she joins the volleyball team so she can get picked on by girls that are more By the way, just because they're popular doesn't mean people like them,
True.
which I think is exactly what popular means.
Well, like I don't understand. Like at one point, like she changes the girl's oil in the car or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, you want to hang out with us?" It's like that's all it took. Like you've been so mean to her the entire movie.
Hazing
She
her.
does. It feels like
But they're on the
her.
same team now. They're on the volleyball team
I
together.
know,
So
but
like
it
they
feels like her like helping them in that way in another movie would have like made them like, oh, look at the poor girl having to do the work for the rich girls. Like we're gonna like you even less. But
no,
it's like, hey,
no. It was set up. It was coming that that was going to be like their bridge. That was it. Like they needed her expertise of what they were making fun of her about because they were jealous that she drag races, I
well,
guess.
they're also mad because they don't think that racing's a sport. Like she is fighting every battle in this movie. It's like
Yes,
everything that like a
yes, you're
13
right.
or 15-year-old girl could possibly face in terms of like doing the things she wants to do. It's like the boys don't like her because she beats them. The girls don't like her. I don't know. They also don't think it's
She's yeah.
racing's a sport.
Yeah, the racers don't like her. Like all the drag and car people don't like her.
Mm-hmm.
Her sister's mad at her most of the time.
Even though like every time that like Beverly Mitchell, I don't remember, is she Courtney or is she Erica? Whatever,
She's
the older
Erica.
one.
She's Erica.
She's
She's
Erica.
yeah.
Every time Erica has like this crisis, like Brie Larson's just like, here's what you got to do. And she like talks her off the ledge. She gives her like a pep talk. She teaches her how to relax. I'm just like, why is this movie not about her? Like, it's the weirdest.
Right?
Like, I get that. Like, it's just she's going through a thing and like whatever. And I guess Courtney is kind of in her slip or whatever. Like, what's the or like she's drafting off right the
Oh
success of
yeah.
Erica.
Yeah.
But like, it's so weird that like Erica's a mess, and like I guess it's more of like a better dramatic story to follow the messy girl, but like Brie Larson is just like better at stuff, smarter
Doesn't care.
about things,
Yeah, doesn't care as much.
calmer.
Has
She's
more
a better
fun.
racer,
Better racer. Yeah,
more focused, more mature.
more fun for sure.
Yeah, less annoying.
Definitely cuter.
Mm. There is a point where Beverly Mitchell's, where Erica's car springs a leak, like her brakes
This
falls
is
out.
great. This was a wild part of this movie. I'm glad that you got here. Okay.
And I was like, is this warning danger to manifold? Because like she can't stop and like her car
Oh
is like
yeah.
falling apart. And I'm like, ooh. And then she crashes. I'm like, okay, here's the opportunity in the movie for Brie Larson to take over. Like
Yep. Yep.
Erica crashes, she can't do it. Courtney's like, I'll step up. And then she's in the hospital for like four
No,
or
no, no,
five
no.
minutes.
Wait. She gets
Okay.
life flighted out
Yeah.
of the racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
She hits a cargo net
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the racetrack after
Mm-hmm.
driving over some dirt.
Mm-hmm. Like the
She's
mildest crash you can imagine.
but she's unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
They immediately life flight her out.
Mm-hmm.
She wakes up in the hospital. They go, no concussions, no broken bones. She's fine. Send her back. She goes right to the racetrack. Same day.
And then she's like, I want to race. They're just like, there's no more left. There's no one left for you to race. She's like, I'll race anybody. It's like, all right. There's actually, hold on. The book that Bob and I just read for, oh, okay. So there's this book called Memory, which we started reading because it was going to become a Ryan Gosling movie, but he dropped out and he got replaced.
Okay.
But the thing, it's called Memory because in the first scene, the guy's like cheating on another guy's wife. Like he's having an affair and the husband walks in and like beats him unconscious. And the rest of the movie, you can't remember what happens. But at the end, he goes to a doctor, and this is verbatim. This is not me like skipping words. And this is just funny because this is, from the 60s. I don't know if anything's going to help. What has happened to you is something called concussion. I can't tell you, no one can tell you if the condition is going to improve at all, or if so, when. But it's just like, not you have a concussion. It's something called concussion. And it's just like, did people not know what the concussion was in the 60s? I guess
Nope.
not.
Nope.
But
First
yeah,
time.
no, no concussion, so she goes back to the racetrack. And then when she comes back, the Pennzoil guy is just like, wow, you're so brave. We're going to sponsor you.
Yeah, because she's mad that she doesn't have any sponsors at all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't have any sponsors because she's a girl.
Yes.
That's it. That's it. There's nothing more to it than she's a girl that wins, so everybody hates her.
Bev can't get sponsored, I wrote down, because she keeps beating all the boys. And then a few races later, the Pennzoil guy shows him just like, hey, good performance today. Could get sponsored. Then she crashes, comes back, races against nobody, I think, does well
She just
or
does
whatever.
one last run. That's what she wants. She wants to do one more run, she
The
says.
Pennzoil guy's like, all right, I'll sponsor you. And she goes, only if you sponsor my sister too. And I'm like, you have no leverage here. In what world?
Yes.
In what world? And then they sponsor Brie Larson.
Yep.
And then later in the movie, they have a photo shoot. And Erica, Beverly Mitchell, is just like the most like rigid, not moving, whatever. And then Brie Larson comes in like a mini model and just like twirling around and like so much more fun. I'm just like, come on. Like I get like what they're doing, but like, why are we not focusing on this girl?
I don't know.
There was one point where Erica races against a boy from New Jersey, and I'm like, I hope that kid wins, and he does. He beats her ass. So I was like, pretty good.
Did their mechanic remind you of just totally being Ned from Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, like a heavy Asian kid, nerdy, kind of
Yeah.
flirty, doesn't really have a chance, is also okay with that. Uh-huh.
Yes. Also, and Ned's girlfriend in Spider-Man kind of looks like a blonde young Brie Larson, now that
Sure.
I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, and he like takes it so cool too. She's like, they're like, "Can we date?" And she's like, "Nope. Like, we're just friends. You remind me of
they
my
go
brother."
on
What?
a very datey date.
Yes.
Like they go ice skating together.
But I think it was like a school function. That was the school
Yeah.
function. It was
But
like
they
an
go
ice
out.
skating dance.
And they're acting super, like she's acting super datey. And he's like, hey, can
This
I
was fun.
take you out sometime? And she goes, no, I just like you as a friend. He's like, all right, can you hook me up with your friend then? And just like, what?
She's like, "No, I obviously like the really cute boy that plays basketball. Duh."
Mhm. Yeah.
And he has a crush on me, but I have no time for him because I'm a very busy volleyball racer girl. So I have and she has to study French. There's a
Yeah.
lot of French in this movie. As in her just sitting in a French class learning basic
Them
French
repeating
vocabulary.
things, yeah. There's a point where they're like, here's the final exam. He doesn't change it in a year. And she opens
Oh,
up the
this was.
envelope, and it's not the exam. It's like the answer key. It's like they stole this from the teacher. It's like, how?
She said her sister, the other girl's sister, had it because he never changes it, which is wild. One, but
Mm-hmm.
two, I feel no moral qualms about cheating on this test. Like I don't know, it was an emotional conundrum that she was in for a while.
Her parents have one rule:
Yes,
get straight A's, or you can't race outside of Houston.
1B, you never leave Houston again.
At one point, she gets a progress report in French, not a report card, just a progress report, and it's like a B or a B plus or something. And I'm like, why would you show your parents? Just hide that
Yes,
shit.
that's what. Yes. There's many of these decisions that I was like, Disney Channel secretly trying to bait children into being
They're
better
raising a
parents.
generation of narcs. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what? Yeah. She's like, she gets this progress report. And I was like, okay, cool. So just like, don't show your parents and like, you'll be good. Like the finals, like essentially like the last week of the race week,
Mm-hmm.
like the last race week of
Mm-hmm.
the year. You just like throw that fucker away
Mm-hmm.
and study
Also,
harder.
like, if she doesn't get straight A's, it's not like they don't say you can't race. It's you can't race outside of Houston. She's like, but the nationals are in Denver or whatever. They're like, yep. But like that's it. It's not like, hey, you can't do the thing you love. It's just you can still do the thing you love. You just can't go to the one other place. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, it's like we can only spend 15 hours a weekend on this, and not 37 hours a weekend
Right.
on this.
Toward the end, so she quits. She's like, she's overwhelmed. She's struggling about French, and she doesn't know anything. And she's like, whatever. And she's just like, this is too much. I'm quitting racing. I'm not doing this anymore.
Not volleyball. Volleyball's fine. She
Right.
needs the whole her whole life is racing, but volleyball's okay.
And her dad is like, look, your mother and I will back you no matter what you choose. And I was like, bullshit. You guys are not on her side. Like the mom was so against the racing early in the movie. She's like,
Immediately.
it's too
Yeah.
dangerous. I don't want her doing this.
Yep.
I'm like, we never see the mom like really about face or whatever.
No, she even like talks mad shit like after
Mm-hmm.
the helicopter thing. She's like, I thought this fucking wasn't dangerous. Ha ha ha. And he's like, come on, like
So then Brie Larson goes to race, and she comes home. She's like, I'm going to quit too. It's no fun without you. And it's like, well, probably honestly would be more fun without her.
I think so. She has the shine too. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brie Larson is the good sister at
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Like your shitty older sister's just kind of sandbagging you at this point.
Yeah.
Like she was like, oh, like she's like the new one. The racing magazine interviewed her too. Like I don't know. I really thought the twist was gonna be that the Pennzoil guy, only wanted to sponsor the little sister.
Okay.
If there was like more digs of that, I think this would be a better movie.
The thing to remember, zero twists in this movie. Zero twists in any of these movies.
No, there isn't. But I was thinking like it for me it felt like they were setting it up that like okay, like she was really good, but she's just like breaking through the glass ceiling so her sister can like
Right.
flex, right? And it's not. No, she also succeeds.
She also, yeah.
They both succeed.
Because Brie Larson's like, it's no fun without you. And she's like, ah, shit. And then she aces the French exam. She's like, all right, time to race again. And then it's like all like gravy from there. Like,
Yeah.
she's so good. She's like, somebody drops out and she has like a bye to advance. She's like,
Dude, I
this
saw
is
the
unacceptable.
Wait,
I want
I
to
s-
race.
yeah, I saw the chart. She had like a 4 week bye. Did
Yeah.
you see this?
Mm-hmm.
It was like a bye from like for into like the third, fourth round.
Yeah. And she's like, I, I need to race. I want to race. I have to race. They're like, all right. And Brie Larson's like, I'll race you. And then Brie Larson wins the race, which is so funny. It's just like, okay. And then she's like, I want a rematch. And then
Immediately they let them do it. Yeah.
yeah, and then in that one, Erica wins. It's just like, okay.
Well, she taught her the what is it the heart of the race. She taught her how to be calm.
Yeah. Because then, she learns how to relax. She learns how to have fun again. She's like, she calms down after all these fans. She immediately overcomes the conflict about like the cheating accusation.
The cheating accusation, yeah. The other dad gets mad, accuses them of cheating. She immediately overcomes that. And also, just like, I'm still hung up on, like, how I thought that the idea of them being a good sport versus a bad sport, and the son being a bad sport and her being a bad sport, like to reciprocate his negative energy with the whole like the first time they race, she has a rival, okay?
Jordy.
Jordy, yeah, what a fuck. Okay, so
There's
Jordy,
basically two boys in this movie. There's Jordy the asshole, and then the kid who helps her with French, who's her boyfriend basically, and I don't know his name because it doesn't matter.
he plays basketball and he's really good at French.
And
Also,
he's
when she
super
pointed,
cute.
when he like booped her on the nose and then pointed to his lips because they're doing like a vocabulary exercise, and when he booped her on the nose and then pointed to his lips, I was like, they're gonna make out, and then I was like, oh fuck, it's a Disney. No, they're not.
Nope.
They're not gonna even remotely.
No, the romance in this is just him giving her a teddy bear and being like, "Good luck tomorrow."
Yeah, in 3 seconds and being like, bye, see you later. I'll watch
Yeah.
you on TV. Have a good
Yep.
day. Bye. So Jordy like beats her real good the first time, and the dad's talking mad shit to her dad too. He's like, you better have some tissues ready because like she's gonna be crying, girl stuff, ha. And then they like laugh at them as they come back, like girls are slow, ha ha. And he's like, go say like, good luck. And they're like, you shouldn't even be here because you're a girl.
Right.
And he's like, okay, maybe like the dad's like, maybe they're jerks. Like I get it. And then like she finally like beats him once at some other thing. Not obviously she's gonna face him in the finals of nationals, but she beats him once at some other thing, and then she like chucks like a little pack of tissues at him, and you're like, that's for you, bitch. And like and then her dad yells at her. Like I get it, but her dad's like, I knew I would have to teach you how to lose, but I didn't think I'd have to teach you how to win.
Oh,
It was a deep line.
powerful.
It was. And then that's it. That they don't really address that again. They just shake hands at the very end of the because then she has to learn French a bunch, so they don't have time to
Right.
reconvene her arc of learning how to be a good sport. That's just like she just is at that point a good
Yeah,
sport.
and then like when the actual finals happen, like she just wins. Like there's no conflict. Just like she wins. Movie's over.
Oh, also, there's at one point she like pretty much breaks her collarbone in volleyball,
Yeah.
or like really fucks her shoulder up.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's like hiding it and sleeping with an ice pack, and the mom catches her, and they're like, "Oh man, like like I wonder what happened." And like obviously because it's a Disney movie, they don't like imagine like somebody pushed her because nobody did. She just like tripped and like fell into like the balls bucket at the volleyball game.
Right.
But it doesn't affect her racing. It doesn't affect it. It like I don't know why they showed her shoulder injury at all. That's a completely inconsequential part of this movie, apparently.
The whole volleyball thing is inconsequential. Like I don't
It
understand
is.
any of it. It's very weird. I also don't know why like you would think that she would like be racing on her own time and get hurt in that and has to hide that, but like getting hurt in the thing that she doesn't really want to do that doesn't actually matter, that isn't crucial to the plot of the movie. It's like, but
Yeah, all of it.
there is a scene that I really like though that we did not talk about yet.
What? What?
Her getting her driver's license. I just thought like this is a fun scene.
This was also this was fun, but also then super unrealistic, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Joey's talking about the scene that like she goes to get her driver's license, so obviously she knows how to drive, right? Because she's been in cars forever.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, I time you through this test course," and like, and she has like apparently she has like a monster truck essentially.
She's got a monster truck with a license plate holder that says, "This is not my boyfriend's truck."
Okay, oh, I missed that. That's good. That's a good catch. Like, and so like the guy's like, okay, like I time like yes, I want people that can barely like have barely learned how to drive to go as fast as possible through an obstacle course in a car. And he's like goes, and then she's like spinning the truck around, and like he's like all over the place.
Yep.
And then I was like, okay, again, I think we're gonna get to the end, and he's gonna be like, excellent driving. Never do that again. Failed.
Yes.
Nope. That's not what happens. He's like, good job. Here you go.
He
Fastest
says, "You've
ever."
done this before, right?" And she's like, "Maybe."
Yeah.
End of scene.
And she gets her driver's license. That's it. That's all we needed.
Like, it's the kind of scene where you'd be like, why didn't they do, like, X, Y, or Z? It's like, well, why didn't they show her getting her driver's license? Like, I like that they did, but it's just like, why they do it like that? Like, it's weird. I mean, I like it because I think it's fun
It's fun. It is
in a
fun.
way that the rest of the movie basically isn't fun.
It's not
Like,
fun.
when Brie
No.
Larson's on screen, like, there's like fun stuff, and I'm not just saying Brie Larson because, like, I think it's hard to say because, like, when you have a charismatic kid actor, it's like, well, of course they're going to probably going to become at least maybe not successful, but like they'll go on because like there's something there that you like you want to keep watching or whatever. So like I'm not saying it's like Brie Larson because we know what she becomes. I think it's just because like she became what she became because she was charming then. But like when she's on screen, she's
If
like, oh, there's something fun here. And then when like Beverly Mitchell's on screen, she's like, all right.
Yeah, but I also think it's just actually the characters too. Like I
Yes.
think that like if you replace them and Brie Larson wasn't the younger sister, but they had like somebody else being charismatic, fun younger sister and
Right.
like grumpy, disgruntled older sister, you'd still be like, "Oh yeah, this movie isn't fun and it's only fun when the younger sister's around."
Right. Like she doesn't have to have a full character arc. She can just be like the comic relief or
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
because she doesn't actually have to like. But it's also like it's so serious. So like when there's a scene where she's having fun and the movie's having fun, it's like, oh, you actually do know how to write this character like in a way that she isn't just like Debbie Downer the entire time or whatever. Even if
Yeah.
it's not believable in the slightest.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Is there anything? Is there anything else about this movie?
I had a question that I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
about this. We kind of have a little bit of insight, but I want to have a real discussion about it. Do you think Dom Toretto cares about education? Do you think he will push baby Brian to do well in school?
Well, we know that in the first movie,
Yes, that's
he's
what I'm
making
saying.
Mia go to college so that she can become a medic so she can help heal him.
Yes.
Will he push baby Brian
Oh, you know
into
what?
school?
And in 5, he does have that scene that he says his dad used to stay up and do Mia's homework with her and learn the homework for the next night beforehand, remember?
Yeah, that's when he's assuring Brian that Brian will be a good dad because his dad was a good dad too.
Yes.
It
So I,
does feel like, I don't know, because it feels like as an uncle to Jack, I think he'd be like, it's really important that you do your homework. Like he'd be like the
yes.
fun uncle, but not like a funkle like a Kyle Reinfried funkle. He'd be like a funkle like a, we can have fun, but you got to do your homework first.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
As
Your
a
mom said you've
dad,
been dicking off in school. Like, no more of that, or you can't hang out here.
I mean, so at the beginning of 9, when Baby B is like helping him fix the engine, he's like, "Give me that wrench or whatever," and he asks like a specific wrench, and like B hands on the thing. He's just like,
Are you
"Are
sure?
you sure?"
Yeah.
So like, I think he values education, whether that's like book smarts for his son to be
Do you
determined.
think? I was asking like specifically. Like, do you think he would have like the straight A's or no racing rule?
Yes, I
That's
think
what.
he would have to because I think part of him would not want his son to follow in his footsteps
Okay. Okay.
because I think it's just like this is not necessarily the life that I chose. It's the life that I fell into. I
Yes.
want you to be more than this.
Yes.
If you want to do this, you can, but you have to get straight A's or whatever the minimum requirements or whatever.
Yeah, but like specifically like straight A's. Like you have to do really good at school.
Yeah, I think maybe. I think something like that. I think straight A's is probably like a good movie stand-in for like being a good boy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the Disney Channel version of like don't be a shitbag in school.
Like
Like,
for
yeah.
you, it's like your parents probably want you to have good grades, but your dad also be like just look, help us around the car rental place. Like if you just like if you're not like a shitbag son, like you can do whatever you want, right? But like in a shortcut in a movie, it's just like do good in school, be nice to your sister.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. So I guess Jack and B are cousins, right? But like they've never interacted because we've never seen Jack while B has been alive.
We haven't seen them together, but Brian is watching Jack and B.
Right. Okay. Yes. So they're in the universe. They're together. We just have not seen them together
No.
because we haven't seen Jack since 7, obviously,
Yes.
and B shows up in 8.
Yes.
That feels like such an obvious like spin-off setup for the future, and like
So, okay, good. Glad you brought that up. I actually like okay, we've had Spy Racers. We have Jack and Brian. Baby B. I really want a Disney Channel original movie that's just like them with Vin being this like goofy dad uncle that like takes them to like I want this movie but just with Fast and the Furious characters.
Yeah.
Like they like are like we have to teach you how to be a good sport. Like the stakes are they're drag racers in the junior circuit of minimal age difference.
Hmm. Hmm.
And Dom's the mechanic and like Letty and me are really worried about the danger of it. And then like one of them has a very inconsequential crash that doesn't result in any injuries, even though they got life flighted out. And and then they still continue it, and like they race Johnny Tran's son at the end or something.
Yeah.
I think that would be perfect. Like that's and obviously Vince's son has to be with them too.
There is a potential that, like, with the focus on family and family gatherings and love and all of that, it feels like this is the exact franchise where, like, basically every character we see, it's likely that they have a kid. Because it's just like, family's the most important thing.
Yeah.
More families even better. Let's all
Yeah.
have a kid. It feels like, oh, we could have Johnny Tran's kid. We could have, like, Slapjack's got a kid. Orange Julius is a kid. Like, basically every single character in all these movies, you could conceivably has a kid. So, like, we could just be setting up, like, Fast and Furious, the next generation, and they could
I
all hang out and race each other and, like, basically recreate these movies or whatever.
Yeah, but I want us to start, and I don't want it to ever like reascend into Fast and the Furious. I just want it to be like 3 Disney Channel original movies type situation where like there's no stakes. They're just like learning morals for children.
I think, yes.
Get what I'm saying?
I think that's also kind of like what Spy Racers. I know you mentioned Spy, but like that's like where I don't know that Vin Diesel would ever be like like enough in the movie to be like in the entire movie like the dad is here. It's like he would show up at the beginning and be like, "Hey, it's up to you now, kid," and then he would leave and then come back at the end. You know what I mean? Like he'd be on set for like a day.
No, I don't want that. I want him to be like fully out of the game dad that just like complains about your French homework.
Yeah, like I wonder at what point in his career. So this is the thing that Mike and I talk about a lot.
What?
With all these actors that we do for these podcasts. And like what's funny is that when we talk about it with Mike, like I also mentioned like the stuff that you like it's not a conversation you and I have really had, but it's a conversation that's similar to one we've had that I have more directly with Mike, where it's
Okay.
like Cage and Keanu and Hanks and Cruise are all dudes in their 60s. And basically for 40 years they've been the leads in every movie they're in.
Yes.
It's like this is a
Yeah.
movie that I'm getting cast in because I'm going to bring people to the box office, whatever.
Yes.
And for some of those people, it's still working. For Tom Cruise, he's never not been a movie star. For Tom Hanks, he doesn't really necessarily make I don't like a lot of his movies, but he's still like a movie star. But still, like sometimes
he's kind
it's
of
like
he's done like the De
he's wavering a
Niro
bit. Yes.
where he'll play like a manager of something or you know what I mean, like not the main character. Like he's fine being second tier now.
So that's the thing. So the conversation Mike and I have, because in almost every it's always usually to do with Cage, where Nicolas Cage in particular for like a decade from like '08 to 18 or so was in like 4 movies a year and they were all straight to VOD and like 50% of the budget went to him and the only reason basically it got made is because it's a Nicolas Cage movie. But
Yes.
it's all like some of them are really good, some of them are really fun, but generally it's just like that's just a movie that people made because it's a movie or whatever.
Yes. Yep.
Then once every 5 or 6 years, he's supporting character in a bigger movie.
Yep.
Or he's whatever. Like he's sort of like a smaller role in an arty movie. And Keanu did that a couple times. And Tom Hanks done that a couple times or whatever. And almost without question, they're the best movies. It's like Keanu as a villain in the Neon, or like a weird kind of like anti-character in the Neon Demon, or the villain in the Bad Batch, or whatever. And like, I wonder, and we've never actually had this conversation about Vin. This is still technically the Vin lap.
Yes.
But I wonder at what point, if ever, Vin will be like supporting actor Vin Diesel.
I think it has to be within the confines of the Fast and Furious universe. I think that he is so invested in it that it can only be that like in the Letty led one or whatever that he's like I'm just gonna pop in, get the draw, get the pop, and like if there's other like kind of like Hobbs and Shaw type movies that are under his umbrella, he would do it. But
See, I still don't think there's any way Dom survives 11.
Dom gotta die. No, he is a kid,
I
man.
think Dom dies in 11 to save the family. I also realized the whole like Momoa Dante thing where it's like, having a big family means you don't know who to save. I'm like, that's just the Joker from The Dark Knight, right? It's just like,
Yep.
all right, so you're over here, you're over here, you can only save one of them. So it's just that. But like, I do think that like to save, it's going to be like, you can either save your family or I don't know, who knows. But I think Dom dies. I don't see Vin Diesel as Dominic Toretto ever being a true supporting character in a Fast and Furious movie.
It's more of a cameo or like a
right. It's the Spy Racers thing. It's like you show up. Like I can see him like if we ever get the Letty led one, he like shows up to give Letty the keys to the garage or something, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's all you today.
You're right. I can't see him being the dad with somebody cast as like Baby B being the star. Where he's in it, like in this movie, like enough of it that he's like a real character, but
like it needs to be the thing where he's on set, like because it can't be like a thing that like actually occupies. Like we talk about when we did Hobbs and Shaw this lap, and you're like, do you think that Vin Diesel got like to approve the script? And like, I don't think so, because I think like it's like when he's, especially for these or for Riddick or for Triple X, it's like when he's involved. Like that's his thing, right? Like it's just like, I'm all in on this, as opposed to The Rock, where just like I'm all in on 40 things. It's like it's inhumanly possible. It's impossible to be humanly impossible to be all in on 40 things. But Vin is just like, I'm gonna make Fast 10 the best movie has ever been made, except when I'm promoting Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, yeah.
Whenever he tweets about like Guardians, I'm like, I don't want that. Fast and Furious, please, more. Okay, but I think it's just like when he's around, especially for a thing that he cares a lot about. Like I think it's admirable. Like he just like, this is what I'm focusing on. So I think it'd be weird. He would have to be like, I'm not involved. Like if it's a Tokyo Drift thing, which like he shows up for a scene, cool. But I don't think there's like I don't see for him and his personality type. I'm not saying this as a negative or a positive, just like how it is. I think I don't see a middle ground.
Yeah,
where he's like in it but not involved.
It's sad because that's what, when I was watching this movie, that's exactly what I wanted out of this, and I think that you're right. I don't think that we'll ever get there or have that.
It would inevitably be more interesting.
It would.
For not necessarily for the actor, but for the character. If Vin was a piece of the puzzle instead of the entire puzzle.
Yep. That's why I want to see it, and like have him not be the shine. Like just play cool dad. That'd be cool uncle. Fine with that.
Yeah. Dom could still die in 11, but we could like have like a Rogue One where it like takes place like this is the thing that took place. It's the Han and Giselle trilogy, and like Vin's like a character in that. You know what I mean? Like he could whatever. But I don't know.
I mean, time doesn't really fucking matter. So
no.
They don't care about it.
Just look at Sean.
Yeah. Just look at Sean. Just look at Han dying and coming back, and Letty dying and coming back. And
is there anything else about Right on Track that you want to mention? I do like in the opening scene that when Erica's on her bicycle, she races so hard that she knocks her training wheels off and then wins the race.
Yeah, and the garage that she was in, was very Toretto too. By the way. I thought that. I was like, is this a Toretto garage over here? But it wasn't. It was just her dad. But I guess all like old dudes that build race cars, garage probably looks very similar, right?
Yeah, it's just like there's a smell to it that you can't smell, but you can smell.
Yeah, tires
it's yellow for some reason.
Yeah.
All right, let's watch this minute-long Disney Channel original movie promo posted by Darkman X16.
Oh,
The
that
premiere promo for Right on Track. Love Beverly Mitchell, and I completely forgot Brie Larson was in this. No one wins all the time. We can't let the pressure of losing affect us every time it happens. People are slow to change. Anything different frightens them. Acting like you're better just because you win only cheapens yourself. This had a great feminist message. Two very well-cast actresses, a real authenticity to the sport itself. Plus, Larson and Mitchell have such ripe chemistry, playing two sisters reaching for the same goal. Thanks to Erica's determination, her victory ensured a majority of drag racers are girls. What? Inspiring a generation of future athletes. Even after attending college and graduating, both of them continue to race. A Disney Channel original movie that still succeeds 20 years later because of its terrific leads and simple but brilliant message. Are a majority of drag racers girls?
they said it was like 20. To be honest, though, there is like a large contingency of young female racers. Like, I do know that to be true.
And I do think that this movie actually does a really nice job of like, this is the inspiration. And like also, I'm sure like Danica Patrick had the same thing. It's just like, oh, seeing a girl do that, seeing a woman do that as a young girl is just like, oh, I can do that too.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. That's really cool. But I think that there's a large contingency of car guys that accidentally have just daughters, and it's like, well, I don't want to watch them play softball or volleyball, and like I don't. And if they have a son, they're like gonna play football and baseball. So it's like, oh, you could be like a kart racer, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, that works. Yeah, she's like small enough she'll fit in the cart forever, and like it'll be kind of cool, and we can like hang out together, and you get to participate in something that I like, and now you have a hobby.
Whatever you do, don't let it be volleyball.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Right on Track, DCOM promo 2003, 1 minute long. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, play.
March 21st.
We just missed the anniversary, the 20-year anniversary.
Oh, they're selling this as both sisters. Okay.
Well, like the poster too is like them side by side, like both like I thought part of the reason that I picked this is like, also the description is like, you know, the two sisters. But now they just have Beverly Mitchell picking up the trophy.
Yes.
Beverly Mitchell of Seventh Heaven and Brie Larson are Erica and Courtney Enders.
I did it, Erica! I did it! Don't get cocky, Courtney. You're still my little sister, and that is still my dragster.
Oh.
A new Disney Channel original movie. Rock and roll, monkey. Stick up.
Man, I missed like the Disney Channel logo that kind of like just bounced around because it was 2003. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Right on track.
why you like made of Jello?
21st at 8,
All right.
Central on Disney Channel.
Opening Friday, March 21st, 8, 7 Central. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, you know,
Kind of.
I'll
was a
watch
trailer. Yeah.
we'll see what you do here. The Letterbox
God.
game. For reference sake, Mad Max Fury Road 1.404 million people. Right on Track, 2003, directed by Dwayne Dunham, starring Beverly Mitchell, Brie Larson, John Lindstrom, and Jodie Russell, has been seen by how many people?
1,700.
Too low.
2,400.
Too low.
3,500.
Too low. One more guess.
4,200.
5,306.
Okay.
All the reviews are like, I believe in Brie Larson supremacy. Anything for you, Brie Larson. A Disney Channel original movie with Brie that's female empowering. Greater than greater. It's all people just watching for Brie Larson.
It's watching for Brie Larson, and it's on Disney Plus. I should have factored that in. So I was like, 20-year-old Disney movie. The Brie Larson effect was real. I don't think I was that far off, to be honest. Like starting that low, like that wasn't wildly off.
No, it was. I didn't look at what it was when I saw it was 5,300. I'm like, that's actually kind of high. Like, I do feel like this
Yeah.
is the kind of movie that like, it's like us watching Miracle Run for Zeph. It's just like there's lots of people out there who are only more people for this than for Miracle Run, but like people only watching it because Brie Larson's in it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
you look at the cast and like, I'm sure like other people in this. I've been in things that I've seen. Beverly Mitchell, obviously in Seventh Heaven or whatever. Also apparently in Saw 2. Sure, whatever. But like, the reason you watch this now is because Brie Larson was in it. It's like the Disney Channel movie with Brie Larson in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Out of those 5,306 people, how many have it in their top four? Averaging a 2.6, most common a 3, then a 2, than a 2.5.
I think that there might be a few Brie Larson stands or Disney Channel original movie stands, but I think it got to be like 2.
You are too high.
1.
It is 1. This is, I'm trying to look here, 20, 24, 28. This is Brie Larson's 30th most popular thing on Letterboxd.
Out of how many, though?
49.
Interesting. It's higher than I'd expect. Okay.
I mean, there's like stuff in here that's like stuff that looks like absolute shit. Like also short films, things that aren't out yet, makings of, like there's weird stuff on here.
Okay.
But like in terms of like actual movies, looks like about 30 of like maybe 35 or 36.
Okay.
So definitely one of her less seen things. So people love her, man.
Yeah.
We are going to Shelby Rashap, Rashap. I don't know. Shelby Rashap on Letterboxd at Shelby Rashap. I gotta say, Joe, this is not a great one to play.
Oh, okay.
But she was the only one. I mean, look, you have seen, and I would say you probably really like her second and third favorite movies. Her first movie is a sequel to a big movie. I did not know that the sequel existed.
It's a good sign.
But it's not a great one, but it's gettable. I think all of them are gettable.
Okay.
Right on track is number 4 for Shelby.
Okay.
I would say
The Sandlot.
the first... No, they're all newer. They're all probably in the 2000s. 2004, 2009, and 2006.
Are they like 4 kids movies, though?
The first one, the sequel, is kind of a kids movie. I would also say it's the only one of the 3 that you're guessing that is quote-unquote a girls movie.
A kids movie and a girls movie, and it's a sequel.
Yeah. I will say the subtitle
Yeah, please.
to the sequel, Royal Engagement.
The Princess Bride 2.
You got one of the words right.
Princess Diaries 2.
Princess Diaries 2, Royal Engagement, directed by Gary Marshall.
Okay.
Did not know that they made a second one of those. Anne Hathaway, Shelby's favorite movie of all time. Now, 2 and 3, not necessarily girl movies, but 2 very, very popular movies. I would not be surprised. The first one has been seen by 1.1 million people.
Okay.
Second one seen by 622,000 people.
Okay. Popular movies, for sure.
The 1.1 million person film was directed by, I would say, one of Letterboxd's favorite directors, but someone who does not really often come up in this game. He has before, but considering how popular this guy is and how much people love his movies, I would expect to find more of his movies in people's top 4 than I actually do.
Is it Nicholas
And
Winding
I'll also
Refn?
give you a hint. No. This girl... Joe.
What?
A girl who likes Princess Diaries 2 and Right on Track is not watching Refn movies.
Okay. I was using the other clues. I don't know.
I will say...
Okay.
I'll give you a hint here.
Yeah, please.
This is a stop-motion animation film by a director who I don't think has ever done this... Has he done anything else that's not live action?
Is it Jojo Rabbit?
No, Jojo Rabbit's live action.
Okay. What?
Oh, no, he did one other movie in this style. I will also say this is my second favorite, I think, of this guy's movies. I will also say one of my cat's names is in the title of this movie. Stop motion animation, very popular director, often does live action, Letterboxd favorite, one of my cat's names in the title. And I actually use this title of this movie to refer to him, but I call him not so blank blank blank.
Oh, the Fabulous Mr. Fox.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Fantastic Mr. Fox. Okay.
Yes. I'm like, he's not... Still getting there. He's not so fantastic yet, Mr. Fox.
Yeah.
Number 3 is one that doesn't really feel in line with the others that are more kind of family-friendly-ish.
Okay.
This movie had a sequel come out during the pandemic that was shot during the pandemic. It has a very crazy long subtitle, this movie, but people never refer to the subtitle. Like crazier than Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. Crazier subtitle than that. It's a comedy. 2006.
Comedy with a very long title that came out, you said during the sequel that came out during the pandemic?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lane also emailed me. He said he plays along to this game too.
Oh, cool. Good. Long title comedy. And the original came out in 2006.
Yeah.
Is it?
This is one of... This is going to give it away, I think. Unless your brain just doesn't
It's like
there.
Anchorman or something. Not Anchorman. What was the other one that just... Is it...
It's one of the most quoted
Zoolander.
movies.
Zoolander 2?
Nope.
What?
One of the most quoted movies by people who are super annoying.
I don't know. What movies do you quote all the time?
Wow.
Oh fuck. No, what is it? Shit. It came out during the pandemic. Did it go like straight to HBO, I'm guessing?
It went straight to Amazon Prime, I believe.
Fuck.
But it was a big deal. I will also say...
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Nope. That came out in the 80s.
Yeah, sorry.
Not 2006.
I'm working both ways here.
There are, related to this movie...
What?
There are 2 other movies and a TV show.
I don't know. What is it?
So it's 4 movies and a TV show, all starring the same guy as different characters.
It's different characters.
Sequel
Austin Powers?
came out. No. In each movie, he's a different character. In the TV show, he's all the characters.
I don't know. What is it?
I will give you the first word of the subtitle. Cultural. I'll say cultural learnings.
I don't know.
Cultural learnings of America.
Is it Day-Ali
The most annoying people... You're close. The most annoying people in the world
Borat.
quoted this movie all the time.
Borat 2.
Borat.
Fuck, yeah.
My wife.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. That's, And then that always, as soon as I hear that, I think of the episode of Corporate. Do you remember the episode where he's like, my fucking wife? Because, like, he gets married. Do you remember this? And, like, then he can...
Don't.
Oh, really? This was a great episode of Corporate. Corporate's a great show. I think that Joey and I had talked about it before. Joey put me on, and Corporate was hilarious. But there's, like, an episode where the bald guy in Corporate, he gets married, and then he gets to, like, sit around, like, the married lunch table, and they're all just my fucking wife does this, and, like, he's like, like, now he has one, so they just, like, all, like, bitch about their wives.
Well, John Mulaney has a good joke. John Mulaney also has a new special out on Netflix I have not watched yet, but John Mulaney has a good joke, or he used to have a good joke about, in an older special, where he talked about, like, getting married. He could, like, finally, like, he always, like, I need my wife to join me on this flight, because it's, like, my girlfriend, but, like, my wife.
Is he still, like, banned from being because wasn't he a shitbag to, what's her name? Yeah, he left her while she was pregnant or something, right?
He's people still love him.
Okay.
He's with Olivia Munn. She's got a kid. They've got a kid.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't kill my wife.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay. Well, so Shelby, her top 4, Princess Diaries 2, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Borat, and Right on Track.
That's a spread. Like, I mean, we've had some diverse ones. That one's pretty wild, man. Yeah.
Truly wild. Okay, so here's the upcoming schedule. So next week we have Life in the Fast Lane number 11, the minute 86. We're still mid-scramble as the scramble disperses. After that, we have our Fast 10 preview and hype episode, where we kind of predict, we've been talking about Fast 10 on a lot of episodes. We're going to spend like an entire, because we have like the questions that we ask before these movies, figure out what's going on in those. That's in 2 weeks. We've got a bonus episode, a Patreon pick, Josh Buckley's pick of Equilibrium, which we will do around that time too. And then, I I did not remember. So then we're doing Fast 10. It's the spoiler-free review, spoiler-filled review. We'll talk more about the dates and the times and that for whatever. I forgot that I slotted in. We're also doing Road to Paloma. We're doing the Jason Momoa bike movie. So we're going to do that too.
Sick. There we go.
So that's happening in 3 weeks. But yeah, so we get the minute next. We got an Equilibrium bonus episode. And then it's just like, it's a lot of Fast 10. A lot of Fast 10. So get ready for that.
I am ready. I was born ready for that.
Any other thoughts about Right on Track?
No. If you were thinking about watching this one, probably skip it. Unless you really like Disney Channel movies and you're a teenage girl that needs empowered.
I would say if Disney Plus had a faster playback option like Netflix does, like YouTube does, you could crank through this in like 45 minutes to an hour and just be like, yeah, I get it. Like it's not bad.
It's not
just
bad.
That, like it's very paced for TV. There's not enough plot to stretch 90 minutes.
Yep.
If you could speed up the playback, worth it.
Yeah.
But Disney does not allow you to do that. So you can probably skip it.
Yep.
Also, if you're curious about it, watch it. Also, I feel like at this point, if you wanted to have seen this movie,
Probably would have.
you would have already seen this movie.
I agree.
Anyway, come back next week for the minute. Oh, also shout out to our patrons. Hold on.
Oh, good call.
Shouting out Josh Buckley before for his upcoming Equilibrium episode, but shout out to Cassie Wilson, Ben Milliman, Nick Burris, Alex Ellenen, Justin Kleiman, Brian Rodriguez of High School Slumber Party, West Hampton, Jerry Robinson. So West Hampton, Jerry Robinson, next guy just had a birthday yesterday. Dan the Duke Hayden. Happy birthday. The
Happy
Devils won the night
birthday.
before. He was celebrating with that.
Happy.
Good big win for the Devils.
Yep.
Renato DiDonato, Michael McGann, Lane Middleton, Lindsay Lewandowski, Nate Milton of the Kings of Sport, Jason Rainey, Tom Price, Mike Gallier, Josh Buckley of Whole Lot of Wolves, Michael Moser, and Jessica Collins, a.k.a. Montez. Thank you all so much for supporting us at the $5 a month level or above. If you want to join them, toofast2forever.com. I feel like next lap we're going to have a bunch of bonus episodes on the Patreon, just for different reasons. A lot of people at the $10 tier and other things that I'm sliding in there. So just go to toofast2forever.com, join that if you haven't yet. You want to, or not,
Do it.
totally up to you.
Do it.
But for all things Too Fast, Too Forever, you go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/toofast2forever, or at toofast2forever on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Email us, family@cageclub.me. We'll read on the next episode. Check out our Patreon page at toofast2forever.com and our store at cageclub.me/shop. And come back next week for Life in the Fast Lane, number 11, Too Fast, Too Furious, minute 86. I'm Joey Lewandowski,
I'm Joe too.
and we will tell you all about it
When we see